What's the funniest way kids have fought against school rules? My high school had the most absurd phone policy in existence. Last year, they banned all phones during school hours. So my friends and I decided to get creative with loopholes. It started when they announced zero tolerance for mobile devices. The principal, Mrs. Davidson, was tired of kids texting in class, so she made this strict rule about no electronic communication devices. My friend Logan immediately found the first loophole. He showed up with a rotary phone from the 1970s sitting on his desk. Mrs. Davidson, you said no mobile devices. This phone is connected to nothing. It's technically a historical artifact. Logan, that's a phone. Ma'am, it's a non-functioning educational prop for my history presentation on telecommunication evolution. Mrs. Davidson couldn't argue with a kid bringing vintage technology for educational purposes, so Logan got away with it. The next day, half the school showed up with old landline phones, corded telephones on desks, ancient Nokia bricks from the 90s, even a kid brought a toy phone from Fisher-Price. This is not what I meant, Mrs. Davidson announced over the intercom, so she updated the rule. No phone-shaped objects of any kind. That's when my friend Sierra got brilliant. She showed up wearing a calculator watch that could receive messages through Morse code vibrations. Sierra, that watch is basically a phone. No ma'am, it's a calculator. I'm using it for math class to improve my academic performance. It vibrates in Morse code. Only if you know Morse code, which shows I'm developing valuable communication skills for potential military or emergency service careers. Mrs. Davidson was getting frustrated, so she banned anything that vibrates or receives signals. My friend Andre responded by bringing a carrier pigeon to school in a small cage. Andre, is that a bird? Yes, ma'am. You banned electronic communication, so I'm using organic biological communication methods. You can't bring animals to school. This isn't an animal, it's a communication system. If you see a pet, that's your interpretation. The bird literally poops. That's just organic waste management, which is very environmentally conscious. The phone policy got updated again. No living creatures as communication devices. That's when I had my masterpiece idea. I created a system using laser pointers to send Morse code messages across classrooms through the windows. Ethan, what are you doing with that laser pointer? It's for my presentation on light refraction, Mrs. Davidson. Very scientific and educational. What she didn't know was that I was sending messages to my friends in other classrooms spelling out, "This policy is ridiculous," in Morse code. By third period, half the school had learned Morse code and were using laser pointers, flashlights, and even hand mirrors to communicate across the building. Ethan, those laser pointers are being used to send messages. Ma'am, you can't ban light. We're supposed to embrace physics and optical science. Mrs. Davidson banned laser pointers and mirrors. So my friend Naomi showed up with semaphore flags and started sending messages using flag positions during passing period. Naomi, what are those flags for? It's semaphore, ma'am. I'm learning naval communication methods for my potential Coast Guard application. What are you saying with the flags? I don't know. I'm just practicing the movements. I haven't learned what they mean yet. Mrs. Davidson had to look up semaphore online to decode the message. When she realized Naomi was spelling out free the phones, she nearly lost it. Mrs. Davidson banned flags and semaphore. The final straw came when Logan showed up with 2 tin cans connected by a string stretched across the hallway. Logan, what is that? It's acoustic communication technology, ma'am. I'm demonstrating sound wave transmission for physics class. That's literally the oldest phone concept in existence. Ma'am, that sounds like a personal problem. I just see scientific exploration of audio mechanics. Mrs. Davidson stared at the string telephone for 5 minutes, trying to find a rule to ban 2 cans and some twine. That afternoon, she called an emergency assembly. Students, I'm ending the phone ban. The whole auditorium cheered. But you can only use phones during lunch and between classes. No phones during instruction time or you get detention. Logan raised his hand. Mrs. Davidson, what if we just use phones responsibly like mature young adults? That's exactly what I'm asking. Just use common sense. The next day, everyone followed the new reasonable policy perfectly. Nobody texted in class, and Mrs. Davidson realized she could have just started with common sense rules instead of absolute bans.